You sent her a text. You waited a whole day, no reply. You told yourself maybe she's busy. Maybe she didn't see it. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow came. Still nothing. And here's what nobody tells you about this moment. The silence isn't rejection. The silence is information. It's the world telling you exactly where you stand in a system you didn't know existed. You assumed attraction was about personality, about effort, about saying the right things at the right time. You were kind, you were genuine, you showed up, you tried, and it didn't work. Not because something was wrong with you, because you didn't have the signal, and the signal changes everything. Level 1, $0. At 0, you don't lose, you simply don't exist. Messages go unanswered, plans dissolve before they start, conversations die after 2 exchanges. You feel like you're speaking into a room where no one can hear you. You assume it's your looks, your words, your approach. It isn't. It's your position. Human beings are wired to assess resources before they invest emotion. Not consciously, not cruelly. It's survival instinct running in the background of every interaction. At 0 income, your signal reads uncertainty. And uncertainty is the one thing that shuts down interest before it starts. The painful truth is this: you could be the most interesting man alive. At $0, most people will never stay long enough to find out. Level 2, $30,000. Something small shifts. You got stable, a real job, a consistent income. Nothing impressive, nothing that makes anyone's eyes light up at a dinner party, but something changed in how you carry yourself. And she texts back. Not immediately, not with enthusiasm, but she texts back. Plans actually happen now. Conversations reach a second and third exchange. You stop feeling like a ghost. This is not about the $30,000. This is about what $30,000 signals. You have direction. You have function. You are no longer a question mark. She's not falling for you yet, but she's no longer looking past you. Here's your first warning, though. Stability attracts, but it does not captivate. At this level, you are acceptable, and acceptable is a waiting room, not a destination. Level 3, $75,000. Now something interesting happens. She introduces you to her friends. She mentions you before you've mentioned her. She adjusts her schedule when yours is full instead of the other way around. You feel it. That shift from you chasing to something more balanced. You've entered a new tier of visibility. You have a career with a trajectory. You have a life that's going somewhere, and people are drawn to trajectories more than positions. It's not where you are. It's where you appear to be heading. Conversations become easier. There's a warmth that wasn't there before. Interest feels mutual for the first time. But here's what you don't see yet. Some of that warmth is genuine. Some of it is a calculation so natural it doesn't feel like a calculation at all, even to her. You can't tell the difference yet. You won't need to. Not at this level. Enjoy the visibility. Keep building. Level 4, $150,000. You wake up to a message you didn't start. She initiates. She suggests plans. She follows up when you go quiet. You are no longer the one doing all the reaching. This feels like arrival. In many ways, it is. You now carry what most people spend their 20s chasing: financial stability, a clear identity, forward momentum. The signal you're broadcasting is no longer uncertainty, it's competence. And competence is deeply attractive. Women in your life start showing emotional investment, not just availability, investment. They remember details, they make effort, they make space for you. But a new pressure quietly appears. Expectations rise with your income. Your time is no longer assumed to be free. Your opinions carry more weight. Your decisions affect more people. The people around you begin forming ideas about what you owe them simply for being who you've become. You are now a resource. And resources attract both genuine interest and strategic interest. Learning to tell them apart is the skill nobody teaches you. Level 5, $500,000. The address changes. The restaurant changes. The conversations change. You are now moving in circles where success is the baseline, not the exception. The women you meet have careers, ambitions, standards, and options. They are not impressed easily because they have seen impressive before. For the first time, your income alone is not enough. They are watching something deeper. How do you handle pressure? How do you treat people with nothing to offer you? What do you do when no one is watching? Who are you when the bill comes and no one is grading you? You are being evaluated on character at a level that $30,000 you never encountered. Because at $30,000, most people weren't paying close enough attention to evaluate character. Now they are. This level introduces you to a new kind of woman. She is accomplished. She is selective. She has built her own life. She doesn't need your resources. She is deciding if she wants your presence. That distinction will matter more than you know. Level 6, $2 million. Something happens at this level that nobody warns you about. Everyone becomes friendlier. Doors open faster. Introductions happen through networks you didn't build. Women who never noticed you now find reasons to be in the same room. Coincidences multiply. Your social circle expands in ways that feel organic but are anything but. Your first instinct is to feel flattered. Your second instinct, if you're paying attention, is to feel confused, because the attention feels real. Sometimes it is completely real, sometimes it is partly real, sometimes it is entirely strategic, and the terrifying part is that the strategic version has learned to feel exactly like the real version. At this level, you will meet 2 types of people. The first type has their own identity, their own purpose, their own security. They are interested in you specifically. Their warmth doesn't fluctuate based on what you provide. They were showing up before, you wrote the check, and they'll show up after. The second type is drawn to what surrounds you, the lifestyle, the access, the future you represent. They are not villains. They are simply human. People move toward value. It is nature. But their interest is conditional in ways they may not even fully admit to themselves. Distinguishing between the two is now the most important skill in your life. Level 7, $10 million. At lower levels, strategic interest is obvious. You can feel the transactional energy in the room. It's visible. A little awkward, easy to identify once you know what to look for. At $10 million, it disappears. Not because it's gone, because it has matured. The people at this level are sophisticated. The interest appears completely organic. The timing of meetings seems like fate. The shared values feel genuine. The connection feels deep. And it may actually be deep. That's what makes it so disorienting. You will doubt yourself. You will wonder if your suspicion is arrogance. You will convince yourself that genuine people do exist at this level, and you are right, they do. But now the genuine and the strategic have learned to wear the same face. Your only real protection at this level is time. Loyalty tested over years, behavior observed when there was nothing to gain. People who knew you before the money multiplied hold on to those people like they are rare, because they are. Level 8, $100,000. You walk in and something shifts before you speak, not because of arrogance, not because of performance, because of what everyone in the room already knows about you before you arrived. At this level, you don't pursue, you simply appear, and the dynamics organize themselves around your presence. Women who are deeply accomplished, deeply selective, deeply aware of their own value will engage you as an equal. These interactions carry a different quality. There's no chasing from either side. Just two people with gravity deciding whether to orbit each other, but there is a loneliness at this level that nobody talks about, because you can no longer be sure what is real. The one who laughs at your joke, is she laughing because it's funny, or because you have 9 zeros in your account? The one who seems to understand you, does she see you or does she see the life you can provide? You will stop being able to answer that question with certainty, and you will learn to live with the uncertainty. Level 9, $1 billion. At $1 billion, the money stops being the story. People have written books about you. Rooms change when you enter. Opportunities arrive without invitation. Nations take your calls. And you are lonelier in certain ways than you were at $0, because at $0, at least the rejection was honest. Now everything is warm. Everything is accommodating. Everyone smiles, everyone agrees, everyone wants to be close to you, and almost none of it is unconditional. The woman who has stayed beside you through the climb, the one who argued with you when you were wrong, who showed up when there was nothing to show up for, who never adjusted her behavior based on your tax bracket, she is the rarest thing your wealth has ever produced. Not because money found her, because money revealed her. Level 10, $1 trillion. At $1 trillion, you have enough to rewrite economies. You have access to everything. And the thing you value most is a text from someone who would have sent the same text when you had nothing. Here is what the entire journey taught you. At $0, you thought women were rejecting you. They weren't. You were invisible. Your signal was zero. At $75,000, you thought women suddenly changed. They didn't. Your market position changed. At $2 million, you thought attention meant attraction. It didn't. Attention has many parents. Attraction is just one of them. At $1 billion, you finally understood the rarest thing in the world is not admiration. Admiration is cheap and it scales with your income. The rarest thing in the world is loyalty that existed before there was anything to gain from it. The real lesson: money changes your access. Status changes how people perceive you. Success changes the people who surround you. But none of those things change the truth of who was always in your corner. The people who matter most are almost never the ones who arrived after the signal got loud. They are the ones who stayed when your signal was silence. Build the wealth. Develop the signal. Rise through every level. But never forget, the most powerful thing money can do is not attract people to you. It's reveal which ones were always actually there.